taking forever to get into the game. Just kind of let's see. Okay. Back here. Hopefully we can get this habitat done today, and I'm kind of optimistic for it, which is kind of odd. But, no big deal. What was the one thing I need to do? I need to set up a poll. That's right. I'm going to set up a poll in the YouTube. So if you're on Twitch, go ahead to the YouTube real quick and we'll have a poll. Because unfortunately, polls on Twitch are only short. We are running a poll to see what the green heron is going to be named that's going into this habitat. So don't forget to leave that in the poll. Though you could also just put in the chat whether you prefer Kelly, Jade, Myrtle, or Laurel. Those are the name suggestions I've gone with. They're all shades of green that I feel like also work for names. Discord is closed so I don't get distracted by it. We're just getting this nice mud bank. Make sure the beaver can get in there. Yes. Great. this all in line. This is going to kind of get in the way. Make sure we get a little bit of curve in here. A little bit of variation, because we want it to look somewhat natural. I want to give them some flying space, honestly. So we might raise the height a little bit. Definitely want to do a full lighting system for this as well. Probably want to do mud banks in all kinds of different places, or different heights. Let's see. This over here, and we can kind of start making this more sheer wall here. Sweet, yeah. Little bit of variation here and there just to give the flavor changes, make it look more realistic, and of course we'll have to mix up some other ledges as well. this will be this little nesting place. I want to get a green heron prop piece in here so we can kind of get an idea of where the green heron should go. Hey, how's it going, Monkey Tavern? How is it going? We're doing a poll in the YouTube for the name suggestions for the green heron that's going to go in here. So go ahead and pop in over there if you want to play a part in. It's been pretty good. I started working 6 to 3 shifts now. That's starting to look good. I mean, it's gonna still require a ton of work. It's still gonna require a ton of work, but let's go see. I think there's a prop piece. Green heron somewhere over here. Probably over here, if anything. It's a boat-billed heron. There's a green heron. Perfect. Could also probably get the mergansers prop pieces in here, because I like the idea of getting them in there for scale, even though we have myrtle. Cool, because I think I'm going to be doing some plants that are supposed to look like myrtle. Oh, that's right, Robustus has a bunch of one-sided. So this will only look good from certain angles, so we will have to make sure. But size-wise, I think that's probably pretty good, honestly. Now let's go see if we can find ourselves some hooded mergansers. Birds of prey, seabirds, interseabirds. Stars and herons, passerines. They don't have mergansers in Robustus's pack. Not there. Birds of the world. I wonder if I look up. Well, I should probably look it up on the Steam. Planet Zoo Workshop. Merganser. No, he says there's at least a merganser in here. Different set, sure. Robustus has some mergansers that we can probably use for scale, if nothing else. That was weird. He doesn't name it on this. That's unfortunate. Does he? Don't think I've placed this one down yet. It's like, no. Photoshop blueprint is looking bigger and bigger. Just a little bit of lag. Do like this. Here's where his depths are. Buffalo head. And, what hooded merganser? You can. I mean, I've done it. It requires just a lot of patience. I prefer to just take other people's stuff, use it, but you could do it. It just probably wouldn't be very fun. Is there hooded merganser? Yeah, it's just called a hooded. Does Mealy's waterfowl have them? Yes. Like we have that one. No, we don't. Subscribe. I feel like this is not to scale, but whatever. We'll see. Will probably still give us a general idea of. Obviously, we're not going to have just males, but I just want to get a general idea of how big the enclosure is going to be for them. Yeah, how's it been going? Anything fun? It's been a while since we've had a chance to chat. Oh yeah, and votes in the poll count as $5,000 for the event that we're kind of trying to run lore-wise. Oh, you're all good. I was just asking how's it been. It's been a little bit since we've been able to chat, so trying to check in, see if anything has happened. See how you're doing. Nice. Yeah, I know my schedule's been a little bit more difficult for some people to be able to catch, so I get that. I gotcha. Nice. Nice. probably need to move all of this. Should probably get the wall in place. Hey, mythical being, welcome to the stream. We've got a poll going on right now for the name of our green heron that's going in here. And for donations, it helps fund habitats for our other species. We've been trying to put more lore into the habitats, so actually fake donations basically to fund those habitats. So each count on that, Kelly. All right. So those are all shades of green. Kelly green is like an Irish green. So we'll see if people come in. It's a tie. I don't know. I'll probably either pick. I mean, it is technically my event, or I'll do like a tiebreaker on a YouTube post or something like that. This is, I think this is my favorite viewing, like, glass. Like, it actually curves perfectly. I'm so happy with how this has turned out so far. All right. And this is supposed to replicate. This is meant to replicate the Cahaba River, which is, thanks. The Cahaba River is where I grew up, around the Cahaba River, so should be able to recreate it pretty decently. Of course, I'm gonna have to do it somewhat faux, because I'm not actually gonna put in. I mean, I need to look more into the Cahaba, but it's one of the most diverse rivers in the world. So this whole area is about game species, so like species that are hunted. So we've got some ducks in here that are frequently hunted, and talking about how hunting can help preserve natural ecosystems because it gets people interested in wildlife. So that's kind of the main theme of this area. But the Cahaba River, I think, is the only one of Alabama's rivers that isn't polluted, I think is what I remember hearing. But it has a lot of different endemic species, that meaning species that can only be found in it, like the Cahaba lily, which I believe only blooms once per year. Oh, come on. But yeah, the Cahaba River is pretty cool. But then we've got a bunch of other rivers and lakes that we've been recreating in this building. Like this is the Black Warrior River, a lot of shale. The Tennessee River, a lot of limestone. This is one we haven't really worked on yet, but this is Lake Martin, which and then we've got in here we've got the Conecuh River, where we've got some eels. The Mobile River, which is technically, yeah, I like it. Technically, the Mobile River is the main river system that the Cahaba is a part of. The coastal plain. So it goes Mobile into the, and then into the Alabama, and then into the Cahaba. Then there's the Chattahoochee and the Coosa that we're still working on. And then we've got Little River Canyon, which I've been to somewhat recently. We've got shellfish in there. The Buttahatchee River is where we're going to have some, I think I'm going to put mad toms in here. I thought about blue catfish, but I don't think. No, this zoo is just about southeastern United States. So it's like a rescue zoo. That's kind of grown a bit. As it became a bit more popular, we start getting able to afford higher budget enclosures, and so we do have some nicer enclosures. Like this one. This one received generous donations for so this is like $1 million habitat. I think it was $1,200,000 we raised to create this habitat. Obviously not really raised, but it adds a bit of character. So this is, hopefully they'll show up, egg sandwich. This is his habitat. And brought to you by Golden Egg Aquarium Systems. So basically, in our lore of our zoo, he is the owner of an aquarium filtration systems company. Monkey's Tavern, who was in the Twitch chat. Monkey's Tavern, I don't think you've actually seen the Baldwin family wetlands yet, have you? Let me show you that, because I think you're gonna like it. I still need to do the sign that will announce it as the Baldwin City, or Baldwin Family Wetlands, which I think is just a cool name. I feel like that's something you'd see in an actual zoo, something named that. I'm incredibly excited, but that's probably to be expected. Honestly, the thing I'm excited for the most right now, because I know that this is coming to Planet Zoo 2, is I'm excited for lighting changes, to where when I build these kinds of habitats, the lighting will actually change when I put roofs on. That's going to be a huge change for me, to where I can actually build these and have them actually be shaded properly. And scaling. Those are going to be my two biggest things, because they're going to make making areas like this much easier. Obviously, I want birds, and I want all kinds of things, but those are the things that I'm pretty convinced are going to be in the game. like 99% sure. And if it's only that gets added to the game, um, would probably be okay. I would want more, and I do believe we're getting more. I believe we're getting birds. If we're getting aquariums, I'm not as convinced on that one, because I don't think it's as wanted by the community. And I don't really care for terrain brushes as much. I mean, it's nice, but to me it feels kind of like a crutch. I don't really like using them in other games that I play that have them, like Jurassic World Evolution 3 and um, Prehistoric Kingdom. I don't really like them because it's just something you can make a habitat look good quickly, whereas opposed to actually really planning out how you want the area to look, if that makes sense. It's a shortcut that's very easy to take that I feel like takes away some of the achievement. Because placing down stuff kind of gives you agency over the habitat more. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I was gonna say we could have blue catfish in here, but they definitely eat the hooded mergansers. I may put carp in here, honestly. That probably. Okay, thanks, Mythical Being. Hope you have a great rest of your night, morning, wherever you are. I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Yeah, because we already have them in our holdings, and we couldn't talk about invasive carp as well. Since it's kind of the Go Fish Alabama theme, there's a lot of carp fishing that is pushed as a way to try and get rid of carp. So yeah, we probably will do carp in here because they're herbivorous, so there's no risk to the birds. And they're too big for the night herons and mergansers to hunt. I love these mud walls. Have I said that before? Oh, hey, un-American cheeseburger. So you're a zookeeper. Cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna need your expertise then, probably. So the species, the American beaver's here just to test traversable terrain. What species do you primarily work with first? Because I don't know. I know there's some zookeepers who are more general, and then there's birds. Cool, because that's the focus of this habitat is really birds. Um, so the whole idea of this room, oh, doggone it. The whole purpose of this room is to talk about sports fish and I guess sports birds of the southeast. So we've got our hooded mergansers here. They share with a green heron, but the green heron's obviously not a game bird. There's going to be European carp in here. Could kind of talk about invasive species, and then we've got a few of the river systems in here that make up. Most of these are the river systems of Alabama, because that's where I'm from and that's where the zoo is located. So wanted to kind of pay it homage to that. And then we've got the Baldwin family wetlands, which has western cattle egrets. Where's our other species? Unfortunately, I have not gotten these species in ZSU yet, so we're still kind of waiting. Yeah, western cattle egrets, then little blue herons, mallards, and American wood ducks. And eventually we'll also have northern ruddy ducks, and I think northern pintails. But this is I really do like this wetlands habitat walkthrough. Yeah, back to the merganser tank, which is the divers and waders is what it's called. Thanks, Monkey's Tavern. Yeah, that's your habitat in specific. But what was my question about birds? Do you work with mergansers, or I don't know a ton of zoos that have mergansers, so I'm not sure. And I wasn't able to really find any of them that have underwater viewing for them, which seems like a shame. I'll probably make sure to include some bird-proof stickers, probably here and down along here. Maybe we'll do like bird stickers up there, and we'll do fish stickers here. But yeah, first off, do you keep mergansers, or do you take care of mergansers? I don't know. Okay, good to know. So, common merganser would or bleh. Technically, these aren't mergansers in, like, they're not a true merganser. So I have like a mulch. I assume like a wood chip substrate wouldn't be bad, like to kind of emulate a forest floor. So a mix of like potting soil and pine bark mulch, would that be an issue for ducks and small herons? Do you know? Just to add a little bit of texture in there. I know the filtration system for this is going to have to be very top-notch because of the high-protein diet, as they are a carnivorous duck species. And the herons. I love red-tailed hawks. 1 second, let me show you. You said you work with predators as well? Big cats. Ooh, what's your favorite big cat to work with? We don't have any big cats, per se, technically. Also, I have bad news about our cougar habitat. Apparently, the rock group got deleted. So we'll have to rebuild this cougar habitat. But yeah, that's the biggest cat we've got. Binturong. Ooh, those are cool. But yeah, our zoo is focused around creatures of the southeast. Yeah, that was my second favorite habitat. Also, this is a cheeky little muskrat habitat we got. The other cat species we have is over here. Oh, but also another one of the birds that you work with is our red-tailed hawk, which I have them with this. This was me trying to create astroturf with different in-game pieces. So I gave them some astroturf. Ledges to try and reduce bumblefoot. And then a great horned owl's in here. And then technically not a big cat, but we've got our bobcat that's floating. That's Blob after a streamer friend of mine who he's got Eurasian links as his profile picture. Okay, Blob, you're being weird. But I've got another species that's called a cat, the fisher. They're called a fisher cat. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, no wonder you're having issues. That doesn't... I'm trying to think... Well, I mean, we've got a couple of big predators. We've got the red wolf in here. Who are also boxed up. This is really meant to be a red wolf conservation center. So we've got the backstage tunnels through here and their whelping pin, which I still haven't really done any work on. But I have been told that I need to build a squeeze cage for them. Since because they're a critically endangered canid, they're no contact at all. Then we've got coyotes in here. Then the North American, or the American black bears, because you don't have to say North American. Other birds we have that are cool, turkey vultures, or vulture. A female American kestrel in there. We're going to have a bald eagle aviary and a Florida, not a Florida barred owl, but a barred owl aviary in here somewhere. I'm trying to figure out, do we put the bald eagle here? I don't know. And then we're going to have great blue heron aviary somewhere like here. I'm trying to think of all the birds that are interesting that we're going to have. But all right, let's look back into I've really been liking the diamond leaf willow bush. It kind of looks like myrtle. I wonder if I can fit it into something like here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know green herons are one of the few birds that have documented tool usage, so that's something cool. More plants for sure are going in here. I do like this, but I'm realizing just how tiny it is. It looked so massive in my other... I do have another couple of aviaries. I've been building this off camera. But This is our tiny terrors. Aviaries. Oh, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to... The squirrelry has seen some major work done to it. And I'm quite happy with how it's turned out so far. But we've got some actual handicap accessible pathing with tread cards. And we've got a blue jay in here. Plenty of enrichment for them. But yeah, the plants here look so... Yeah, one of the other things for that habitat is I want to make it tall, specifically so that the mergansers can get away from the heron. And then we got screech owls in there. And then a sharp-shinned hawk, which is the smallest hawk of North America. And then we're going to have a shrike in here, but that's not finished. And then we'll have a merlin in here. And then you can look over into the squirrels, which we've got the fox squirrel, then the eastern gray squirrel, and then we're down to the bobcat habitat. And the new groundhog habitat here. I assume you're talking about the double airlocks. I do need to work on the backstage here to where they can retreat from the guest if they want to. But yeah, we do have the double vestibules to make sure that the birds can't fly out. At least that's the goal. Well, thanks. I try... You know what? I don't think we really have a way for staff to get in here yet. So we definitely need to include that here. We'll probably include it in here. Yeah, so this is going to be backstage. Oh, and then this is the gate for the other one, which I do need to include one of those vestibules for. I also work at a company that we don't... While we don't have animals, we have a clean room environment, so I work with airlocks pretty frequently. Way fancier airlocks than the ones that we would have in this zoo, but... I can't really say on a lot of stuff, only that it's a drug manufacturing company. I'm a visual inspection specialist. I can say stuff, I just can't really say about like exactly what we do and who we do it for, because we got confidential clients. But if you don't mind me asking, what zoo do you work for? If that's too personal, then go ahead and ignore that I said it. I always find it interesting. Always wonder if it's a zoo that I have been to or I'm planning on going to. But basically, at work, I investigate things. That is my job, is I figure out why things went wrong and how to stop it from happening again. Hmm. I wonder what heron enrichment looks like. Oh, also for those who are in Twitch, you can go ahead and put in um wow. That is pretty massive. A massive zoo. 15,000. Wow. I think my local zoo, the Birmingham Zoo, has a couple hundred? 900. So, whew. And it's not a tiny zoo. I mean, to be fair, probably 20% of their space is their elephant habitat, so that's just because they have a. I guess not 20%. It's smaller than I think it is. It's only 6 acres. It just looks. And the zoo is like 120 acres. I'm going to the North Carolina Zoo this year, theoretically. If ever. Um, yeah. But the North Carolina Zoo is massive. Not necessarily in species, from what I've heard, but in terms of just sheer um, hmm. Yeah, it was. I think the enclosure was released in 2008. Um, yeah, no, it's huge. Like apparently it's the largest zoo in the world, which I didn't know. But I'll definitely get a few lifers, um, like well puffins and auks. I've not seen any of those. I've seen penguins at the Detroit, which was really cool. But hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to come out this year, right? That's why I'm like, I might want to delay a little bit just to. Oh, cool, because we might be going for Christmas. We're still trying to figure out when exactly we're going, because we're supposed to also do a trip to Germany this year and go to. Okay, so that's. I'll have to make sure that we go and. I'll try and see if we can go for Christmas because do we know? Do we have a species list of what's coming to their Asian section? You know what? If I put this here, I don't think our mergansers are going to be. I should really just put the mergansers in. Yeah. Oh, cool. If that's true, um, that will make it so that I think I technically would have seen all the giant salamander species. I could add something like that. I thought that the Kava River was known for its cleanliness. What is the cleanest? Or maybe I was wrong. Oh, the Tallapoosa. Oh, and Little River Canyon. Cool. It looks like maybe Paint Rock, which I'm trying to remember. Or Paint Rock River, which... So Little River Canyon, that's one of the cleanest waterways in Alabama. I went there recently. Paint Rock River here. I got to see a belted kingfisher at the Little River Canyon, which was pretty cool. It's the largest canyon east of the Mississippi, fun fact. Yeah, I should actually just get rid of these and put the actual mergansers in here. Because even though we don't have them from ZSU yet, I think having them there for pathfinding is going to be helpful. In case you couldn't tell, I do use mods. But yeah, I think I think I'm right in saying that the there's 3 species of giant salamanders, right? There's the hellbender, the Chinese giant salamander, and the Japanese giant salamander. Crypto branches. Okay. Hellman. Oh, it's Cryptobranch a day. Which I thought they were. Oh. Actually, apparently there's 6, but there's just a bunch of different. I thought, huh. I thought all the giant salamanders were the same genus, but apparently the hellbender is a different genus. But in any case, I've seen more giant salamanders than a lot of other species, which is kind of cool. All right, let's get the beaver. The beaver go. No. Oh, there it is. This is not. Yeah, I mean, they're in the same family. Not where you're going. You're not going into that tiny habitat. We still need to do the backstage for the beavers. Which I really like this habitat. It's probably too big. I really have a problem with making too large of a habitat. Alright. We'll probably have 1 male and 2 females, if I'd have to imagine. That's what they're going to give me in this event. Which, tomorrow that event ends, so I should know by next week how many we're supposed to get. Cheeseburger. This is a ZSU zoo, which means it's run in a Discord server. So all the species I have here are from actual zoos in the Discord server, so we have to trade and do different permitting and stuff. So this guy came from a different zoo. Also, for those who are on Twitch, if you want to go to YouTube, you can vote for the name suggestion in there. If not, you can just put it in the chat. We have Myrtle, Kelly, Laurel, and Jade. Those are the name suggestions, and it's currently tied between Kelly and Myrtle. Alright, let's see these guys. It's a female. Flame. Oh, speaking of, the hitbox on this plant. I try to when I can. It's blocking them here. Oh, does this? I should have checked to see if this blocks traversable terrain. In some instances, probably yes. What traversable terrain is? I bet this is still blocking them. What's blocking their traversable terrain now? Is it these? Doggone it. I want them to be able to use this habitat, so I'll have to figure out. Let's see some green heron enrichment items. I know they'll use bait. Like fishing lures. Well, they really don't give you anything on them. But I would bet that something like this would probably go over pretty well with the green heron. To add plenty of perching roost that hang up there with maybe some nest building materials or something like that. Alright, we got 2 for Myrtle now. Are you gonna be a Myrtle? But yeah, each vote counts towards... Man, I hate that these are so stupid. Let's see. Can we... put this here? I do love these trees. They frame everything so well. have such a big hitbox. Yeah, the most detailed backstage I did was in here, the Appalachian Conservation Center. So, so through here, technically I need to do a path up to here, but you've got this whole area and you can access the bear habitat from there. Looks like I didn't finish this. Probably need like a, I don't know what we need there. Maybe a bathroom, honestly. But then we've got a foot bath here. Did I not add? Man, you know, you realize just what you missed. I built a whole card swipe so that this would be restricted access. But then the bears, technically any animal could rotate through that if the correct gate was open. But then through here, that's the bears backstage holding and their pins. So if it's nasty weather out here, they still have a little bit of space to move around. Probably could use some enrichment. Then the keepers can walk over this gate to get to here. This is the keepers, or this is the warehouse, where different enrichment items and browls and stuff like that can be kept. Waste drums. And this is the coyote backstage holding pens and the coyote yard, which does actually have a little bit. They have a small little pool in a cardboard box. Then this is the keeper's office. So they've got a little break room back here. And then like AZA stud books and care guides in here. Printers. And then the server room is in here because they do a bunch of genetic analysis and stuff. What is in here? Oh yeah, this is the staff center or something like that is in there. So this is the office, and then yeah, these are your badge swipes. And here we've got the genetics lab where we do work on red wolf genetics and also acts as the central hub for So we've got like centrifuges, nitrogen gas, I'd imagine, some microscopes. So the idea is they can do research into red wolf genetics because that's a finicky question that a lot of people don't know the answers to. Then in here, that's the staff. That's the actual usable staff room, but this is my like official kitchen, which is much larger. So this is the kitchen area. So you have a temporary little fridge in here so you can have some stuff, but then there's a master fridge because there are American black bears in here. There's not a chance. Thanks. It's based off of the Denver Zoo's Predator Ridge, loosely. But yeah, this is the Red Wolf's backstage area, and then this is the full fridge. Since there's black bears, obviously you have to keep a ton of different food items available because they eat a ton. You know what? That is something that I should have included. And honestly, I should load into my other zoo and blueprint. Because I definitely did do that for my Bengal tiger habitat, and I just didn't do it on this one. I made I made a rifle to talk about like poaching and stuff, and then I was like, well, you know, it makes sense that they would need to have both real rifles and trank rifles available. tranks if possible, real rifles if necessary. But yeah, good point. But yeah, I haven't. I'm supposed to build a backstage area here, and I technically do have a bit of a backstage area over here. This is a quarantine home for, well, whatever needs it, but as of right now, it's got American mink. So I definitely need to do some work on the backstage here. I'm supposed to put in a filtration system over here, because, again, we're going to have a huge filtration system just for this tank. And then most of the other filtration systems will probably be up here. That's me done nerding out about habitat design and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually have put some thought into the backstage. Maybe not as much as is necessary for a lot of things, but I would say it's probably more than some people put into it. Well, I know it's more than some people put into it, but Interesting. Good to know. This is why I love some of the zookeepers that I know. I know one person, a streamer friend. I can imagine it. There's all kinds of dangerous dogs and stuff as well. I mean, it's not just tigers that are scary. My local zoo had the cassowary escape once, but that was non-eventful, believe it or not. I say that cassowaries are actually somewhat docile compared to... They're one of the species that can kill you and just chooses not to. Technically, the mergansers would be able to get up there, and we'll probably include some nest boxes and things like that because southern ground hornbill, I imagine, unless you... I don't know if Abyssinians are actually kept in the US. I'm not sure. I don't... Our zoo's southern ground hornbills are very curious. They kind of... Anytime someone walks up, they're very much checking people out. Probably need some sort of perch in here. Oh. Trying to think. Trying to think if they kept them with anything at any point. I don't think they did. I think it's just been the two ground hornbills. The secretary bird they kept with a red-flanked diker for a bit. Still feel like... see. You said 100-year-old zoo. That kind of narrows it down if you are from the States. Are you fine with me guessing, even if you don't? Even if you, because I have a guess. You don't have to confirm. I'm gonna guess if you are in the U.S. I'm gonna guess the Bronx Zoo because I know that one's old. Obviously, you do not have to say yes or no. But I am quite proud of my guess, whether it was right or wrong. Can't really think of other U.S. And I know the Bronx Zoo is quite massive. Trying to think of others that are huge. You said 15,000 species. I guess 100 years is not that old nowadays, eh? Or nowadays, it's not that old for a zoo. It's old, but not that old. Like, thank you. Oh, hey, Jess. Yeah, you saw the start of this habitat on Wednesday. We've got an actual zookeeper here telling us about how to keep animals, so that's really helpful. I do very much appreciate it. I actually feel like I want sand as the bottom, and then we'll mix in gravel with it. Sandy substrate. We could even maybe release like crayfish. All good, all good. But we could release crayfish. Obviously, I mean, I'm just assuming at this point we're gonna have like golden shiners or some other bait fish. Constantly stocked in here for the green heron and merganser to have enrichment from hunting. Not goldfish. Not sure if birds have the same problems reptiles have with goldfish, but I imagine so, because they have a lot of the same like lighting requirements. And so I don't know if goldfish, an overabundance in, what is it, thymidines, whatever, can be difficult for this can kind of make it look a little bit bumpy. Yeah, so golden shiners probably are a good way of a fast reproducing species that's also cheap because it's kept as a bait fish. That or like bluegill fry, and then if they grow up to be adults, then I don't think a merganser would attack a adult bluegill, but if they grow up to be adults, then oh well. All right, so that's a good start. I'm trying to think, do we want... I like the idea of the litter, but what if instead of putting it in the habitat... These are from the new landscaping mod, and these pieces are awesome. But this would be a great place to keep, like probably releasing what cage, uh, red Cajun crawfish or whatever. Um, for the mergansers to dive down and get. One fish that I know that mergansers do hunt that I could not add in here is largemouth bass fry, because once largemouth bass are large enough, they would attack any merganser babies. So I guess they could get fished out of here, but we've already got. Yeah, this is such a high budget tank that we're designing that I'm not too worried about it. We do need to add. Hmm, what is happening on the? Which Discord am I keep getting pings for? Huh. Whatever. Yes, if it did need a deep cleaning, this would all have to be cleared out, probably. But again, I kind of want a super heavy. Um. Thanks. You mean this ramp here? Just mulch pieces, kind of. We do need to add a few plants in here to just kind of make it look a little bit more natural. I'm sure. That's right. We need faux rock. Let's see if we can do this. I think this piece is actually better for this purpose. Actually, this might be better. How do I... really get the point across here? I don't know if you know what I'm trying to create, because you didn't. You said you don't really do waterfowl, right? But I'm creating a where. Ooh, I bet I know a piece that would work good for this. So the idea... Oh yeah, yeah. We are going to be doing flamingos sometime in the near future. For our Everglades section, we'll have the American. We have a flock of 26 flamingos. But basically, aware causes the water gets sucked into here, and it's got like a filter down here where, yeah, basically. But it's specifically the filter for like loose feathers and stuff that would absolutely wreck a regular filter. Something like that probably works. Yeah, so the water would come in, get drained. Technically, that doesn't make sense for there to be anything blocking it. So just want this, and I want it to be our... That's a little brighter than our go away green. Where is our go away green color? Where's the closest one we've used? Probably here. All right. Let me make sure that we use the right shade of green on these metal beams over here. It's, now that I'm looking at it, it's looking a very different shade of green. Hey Night Riz, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it has been a while, but I'm doing good. Thanks for tuning in. I think the last time I saw you, I think it was on one of Blob's streams, right? I think. Ugh, that does not sound fun. That sounds miserable. Yeah, we're working on our sports fish and sports bird aquarium area. So this is going to be for hooded mergansers and green herons, which these are not a game bird. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, coming in from overseas is tough. I mean, for Blob, it's easy for me because that just means that it's just early in the day for me. I'm just at work when he's streaming. For you, it's late at night, so I do appreciate it very much so. For little bait fish to hide, and maybe the mergansers can poke them out. I don't know. I wonder, do these guys dive? That's a good call. Please tell me... No, they don't deep dive. Oh, that was the whole point of this habitat, was because I figured they would deep dive. Ah. Yeah, that makes sense. Leaf. Pretty sure that's Leaf's fault. I guess I could ask him. I don't know if he'll respond, but maybe he will. I think he's responded to some of my stuff. We're in a Discord together. Yeah, Nate, that's not going to be. So this will be the backstage holding area back here. We might make it concrete on this ramp and do like, probably not, I mean, it will be shower mats, but it will be a slightly fancier shower mat. Man, I love the curve on this viewing area. I wish we wouldn't get glare from the sun. But we'll see what happens when we put the roof fully on. I mean, I feel like we can now. Yeah, I know they can climb, but they're not, like, known for it. They probably only do it when running away from hyenas, I would imagine. But they're not, like, good climbers. They're just, like... I got teleported. They're, like, they can scramble up a tree if it's not a 90-degree angle kind of climbers, from what I understand. This was supposed to go like right here. Oh. It's technically... Should have kept this all selected because this needs to go up. Selecting this is a pain. Bright white. Oh no. It's tragic. I want to figure that out. Oh guys, you don't have to do that. I have not updated that for forever. Or you could. Who knows what the last thing we did for the question of the day was. I don't know what it was, and it may not have even been... That sounds so much like a cat. That sounds like something my parents' cats would do. That's where we want the roof. I think we want the roof here to be much higher. Because I don't think this really gives us... I mean... Yeah, we want this higher. Cheetahs are cool though, but they're also, like pandas, one of the species that you just go, how do you survive? because when a vulture can beat you up, then are you really a successful carnivore? No, I'm still trying to figure out old zoos in the US. Again, still assuming that you are in the US. That you might work at. There's obviously, I don't know how old the National Zoo is, but I'd imagine it's not young. Any tips to build good zoos? Be very patient. Watch a lot of people build. That's something that helped me a lot. I know that's kind of self-serving in that I'm one of those people you could watch, but oh yeah, I did know about that. I know for me, watching people like Leader, ZSH Plays, Caesar Creates, that those were all people who really helped me improve my stuff, and how I build. I think Leader was Wyatt Andrew Workshop, so he doesn't really. Yeah. Same kind of with Red Wolves. I say kinda. Very much so. Apparently, pretty much every or most polar bears in U.S. zoos are also inbred because zoos aren't allowed to breed rescued marine mammals. Is what I've heard. I learned that today. Hmm. I can imagine that being an issue with SeaWorld. No, it's truly the migratory bird agreement that's been my pain in the side in building this zoo. Because native North American songbirds are so hard to come by in ZSU because you have to get them through special events because it's illegal to breed songbirds. I think it's technically illegal to breed pretty much any bird of prey, but there's some that are allowed in ZSU. The only ones that are like not strictly prohibited from breeding in ZSU is golden eagles and bald eagles. That's like federal. Okay, so now from here. Yeah, yeah. I'd imagine. Unless you have a special permit for condors. Oh, you mean inbred? Yeah, yeah. And I would imagine black-footed ferrets as well. We've actually got quite a few critically endangered species here. Yeah. Condors are cool, though. Yeah. As for critically endangered species that we have here at Tri-State, we have bog turtles. Um, those we've actually had success breeding. American burrowing beetles. It's been another species that we have that's critically endangered. Red wolves, we've not bred those, but in ZSCU they're pretty common, so there's not a high demand for people to breed them. Oh no, I'm trying to think. I feel like I have more critically endangered species in this zoo, but I may not. We've got quite a couple of endangereds, like the reticulated flatwood salamander. Ooh, cool. Okay, so your zoo has red wolves. Uh-huh. Red wolves and cheetahs. Very interesting. I say that red wolves are probably the one that kind of narrows it down a bit. Hmm. That's true. Yeah. That's super cool too. 15,000 15,000 animals, right? Not 15,000 species. I mean, it has to be. 300 species. Oh, that's actually not that huge. Huh. Yeah, because my local zoo has. Now they have much less animals. 900 animals, but 230 plus species. So, like, I mean, 300 is still big. I'm pretty sure Bronx has more than that, though. Remembering correctly. I think. I remember seeing a list. Obviously, you did say 300 plus, so. Oh gosh, I hate this site sometimes. English, please. Holding charts. Okay. No, there it is. Species richest zoos. 300 plus. Oh, there's the Fort Worth Zoo. Oh, if you work at the Houston Zoo, that's super cool. follow both of those on Instagram. All right. Catch you later, Jess. I appreciate you tuning in. Okay. Pretty. You can get some looks up there. And we definitely need some more trees up there. We want some. Obviously, we want lights up there, and we'll probably do a screen mesh. What's every. Cincinnati Zoo is not over 300. Interesting. I do love Cincinnati Zoo. I've been there. Tampa, the cool zoo. Kansas City, Houston, Fort Worth, San Francisco. No, it's the Los Angeles one. That's kind of crappy. Wichita. Zoo Miami. Heard good things about that. Oh shoot. Wow, Dallas World Aquarium has three. It's fish. It's fish. Jurassic Park. Interesting. I'm. Interesting. I don't feel like Brookfield Zoo would be Michael Crichton's inspiration, but maybe. I assume that means you have a big reptile section in that zoo. San Diego, I know, has a state-of-the-art Komodo dragon habitat, but that was built after Michael Crichton was inspired. Of course, I could always. Oh shoot, then that's got to be Brookfield, right? I feel like doesn't Brookwood Brookwood not Brookwood. That's oh. All right. I'm gonna just assume since he lived in uh, California, I'm gonna just let that sit there, and I'm guessing. If you work at the zoo, I'm thinking of, it's definitely one of the ones that I want to go to. Does your zoo have a really cool meshed over habitat for caracals? Just the other side of the United States for me. Wait, does that zoo have? Does Africa use Does Africa use a electric guitar in your zoo? That's my comedy. Let's see if anyone can get it. I didn't know they had red wolves. Oh, hold on. Golly, zoo tier list. Why would you have? Oh, yeah, there's 44 holders of red wolves. Does not. Okay, well, I thought. I thought. Oh, oh, I think I think I know which one it is now. I think. Chevrolet. That probably. Hmm. Name another interesting species that I could look up that's not kept. What's a species in your zoo that is not commonly kept in other zoos? I feel like I probably have kind of narrowed it down. I think was it one of the first was it the first zoo I suggested or thought of besides the Bronx or second zoo after the Bronx? I don't remember now. My memory is falling apart. I thought it was San Diego, but San Diego doesn't have red wolves. Can I dox you with? I'm realizing that I'm sounding really crazy when I'm like, can I guess where you live based off of the species you keep at your zoo? So if this is making you uncomfortable at all, just tell me stop. Because I do not want to be pushy in that regards. I just like learning about zoos. Has your zoo been? This is not going to narrow it down at all. But has your zoo been doing the like give name your roach, name a roach after an X or something like that? I know that's been a big trend recently. this will kind of be their area that they can kind of get away from. Probably need to put. I don't think they're going to be breeding because I don't trust the green heron not to yoink baby merganser, but I do want to add a nesting box. Just in case, we could always move the green heron to that quarantine cage should we want to breed our mergansers. All right. Let's think of some tall grasses that don't really block animal traversable terrain. Yeah, for me, it's at this point, it's just give them a spot to hide from the heron, where they're kind of defensible. Probably may give them a chance to feel a little bit more defended. I don't know. Hey, Injok. Welcome to the stream. We are kind of finishing up this habitat. We might work on something different in a bit, just because we've been working on this habitat for a little while. Got about an hour left in the stream. Thank you. We've got an actual zookeeper here who's helping keep me honest. Make sure I'm keeping animal welfare to a decent standard at least. I'm going to add a door here, and then this will be we'll put a little vestibule in here, I think. No, we'll put a vestibule in here. And then we'll have, well, yeah. So technically, this is not an AZA accredited facility. This is a ZSU accredited facility, which I feel like is probably. I feel like they're actually a little bit more strict than the AZA sometimes. Because there's been a few habitats I've built that they've been like, no. And I'm like, I have to believe that the AZA would not care about this habitat whatsoever. But yeah, it's a fake accreditation. ZSU is Zoosins United. Because they said this habitat was not suitable for a muskrat, which I feel like it would be, but whatever. It's going to be for pond sliders now. Or, map turtles. It's gonna be for map turtles. I love this ramp as much as the next guy, but it doesn't really make sense to be in the backstage part, because it would make it incredibly difficult to click. Yeah, it's definitely got a few roadside element habitats. A few habitats that are, it's not roadside necessarily. Ain't no duck climbing up that. What happened there? But it is a lower budget zoo than like, it's no Bronx or anything like that. Oh, I see now. Crap. Oh, that's why. There we go. That's probably fine. Probably do want some tread supports for them. $500,000 ticket sales? Golly. Trying to figure out what's the best gate for this. I think the answer... First of all, these turds need to move out of here. Would like to see them not back here. Kind of want to narrow this because I feel like the gate is too large. Oh wait, we do want guests, or not guests, but staff to be able to exit. Don't tell me they can't go through that gap. Of course they can't. Planet Zoo Plus does wonders, but sometimes even it can't fix stupid. Okay, so apparently my previous gate was just big enough for these guys to fit through. That's cool. Oh, interesting. Are electrically controlled ones just unreliable? Also, I should post a link to my Discord in both the YouTube and Twitch chats. Also, for people in YouTube, there is a poll for what we should name our green heron. Highly recommend you vote in that. That checks out. The company I work for, everything fails as well, so that makes sense. Oh, the Mergansers will have to name differently. We'll have to do a separate suggestion for the Merganser names. But I can write down Dave as a suggestion. I just have a poll running in the YouTube. Come on. There we go. Merge that. Nice. 9-banded? Or is it like a 6? This is the hooded Merganser. So this is the female. And then the male has the more striking colors. And hello, Alex. They are a very cool species. They're a diving duck. They are technically not a true merganser. Which apparently mergansers are difficult to keep in captivity. So we may keep mergansers. Gotcha. I'm trying to remember what question I asked. What did I ask you? Huh. Yeah, it's a possibility. I've got quite a couple of... Oh, that's right. I was asking what species of armadillo you had. I remember now. I'm so smart. I can remember questions I asked that weren't from previous. Man, I hate how this is going. So slow. Um, yeah. I have heard that they can be quite dangerous, which is why it was kind of like questioned. Why is this a walkthrough species? in Planet Zoo. I will actually be having three-toed sloth because while most of the species that we house are natives, or our zoo is also supposed to have like abandoned exotic pets. And I imagine some person tries to keep a sloth. So we just traded and got it. Gosh. Um, a Linnaeus's three-toed. Which we'll be housing with our kinkajou, or golden lion. But that will be for our invaders and vagrants section. Which has like invasive species and then animals people keep as pets that shouldn't be. So we've got kinkajou, and there we've got okay. We've got red-rumped agoutis that are gonna go in there. Lion tamarins. And then the sloth. Probably should have turned these lights off before I placed a bunch of them. But you know, you live and you learn. Or you just live. Ooh, Myrtle's now winning by a good bit. Good margin. I do like the name Myrtle. I like all the names. I feel like they work pretty well. I know these guys are very invasive in Europe. I'm gonna try and use these pieces because I'm trying to figure out more pieces that I should use. I feel like this is one that I haven't gotten the amount of usage that I could. True. I feel like mesh makes the most sense here. Technically, that's right. Nobody's ever going to see that little bit of mesh poking out. Probably wouldn't even notice it. Good point. I was going to make the mesh like doubled up on itself, but that's probably a good idea. We should probably do it with the LED sign panels, because those are small enough. I love this game so much. We're truly able to do so much in it. I remember back when all we had was Zoo Tycoon, and then Zoo Tycoon 2 came out, and that was the big advancement. I remember I was in college when Planet Zoo dropped, and I was like, "What in the crap is this game? There's no way they can do all this stuff." Actually, the better way to do this would be not the sign, the boxes, because we can use these pieces. I mean, yes, but I can't financially justify it. I did volunteer at a zoo during my teenage years. Um, so I do have some experience with zoos. Not much. The only enclosure I got to be in was the um, yeah. And now I've got a wife and kids, so I can't be getting jobs that don't feed my kid. Yeah, I can imagine that because like my brother looked at getting a job and it's like requires a degree plus um pays less than fast food sometimes. It's just like it's a tough sell. Like yes, really cool job. I'd love to work with reptiles for a living. But I'll just keep on keeping reptiles. So like I love all animals. Reptiles are and amphibians are probably some of my favorite. I really got into them during the pandemic. I also really love mustelids. It's a species. When I went to the Detroit Zoo and got to see a wolverine, that was a high point for sure. Can I... What happens if I put this like so? Is this going to look like crap from outside? If I like it inside, we'll obviously have to add hinges. I think I want it to swing this way. Because... Or it could swing that way and we could have like a shovel and rake over there. Obviously we've got... Oh, cool. Y'all have to have a ton of room then, I'd imagine. Because... Oh wait, yeah, you're never going to see in there. Like, all you're going to see... Man, if it open... Yeah, it needs to open that way so that I can see the gate. Because I do like that gate. Because they're cannibalistic, right? Our local zoo... That's fair. That is fair. That does make sense. Okay, so now we need a hinge. I do think I want it to open on this side. Uh-oh, I don't know what happened there. Feel like there's some zoo lore I'm missing out on. Did a chimp go crazy on someone? Ah. Is it an orangutan? Yep. Could have guessed. Wild green herons maybe are intelligent as might be on intelligence levels with like a corvid. I don't think they'd be able to do anything too crazy. But I could have like a shovel and broom maybe hanging. Hmm. Oh, I was right on that one. Have you seen Caesar Create's most recent video? I don't know if you watch him. Because he may or may not have recreated. Caesar Creates, he's one of the bigger Planet Zoo YouTubers. He's he's really good. Um, he goes into a lot of detail. He's one of the persons I really took inspiration from. Though I don't know if he does as much work into backstages as I do. I know he does sometimes, but he okay, yeah. He may have recreated y'all's Komodo dragon habitat. Just, still just assuming that it's the zoo that I know it is. Yeah, because y'all do have a pretty rad. Yeah, it's a pretty cool build that he did. I've been thinking about doing a recreation one day, but it's a lot of work to Cool. A very impressive habitat. I think I saw I know I saw someone else use it as inspiration. I don't think it was a direct. Well, technically, both of them were just doing it as um, inspiration. It wasn't like a one-to-one recreation, but and that's Jurassic. Mm. I assume that the smaller than this. I assume I assume you're talking about something like a kitty litter, like Scoot. Don't even know how I do that. Hmm. Let's just try. Oh, why do I do the things that I do? It's for the people, right? This is what happens when a zookeeper shows up to my live stream. It's unjust. I'll tell you, unjust. It's good motivation for me to get off my lazy bum and do the work. Well, thanks. Let's see. And I'll definitely need your help when I build the Everglades, like flamingo aviary. Which we're not doing too soon, but it's not in the far future. I was talking today about what it would take for the zoo to get manatees, and because they are native to Alabama, it's not as difficult because we don't have to do a big transport nice. Yeah, basically because they're a native species over here, no crazy transport has to be taken, and rescues are common. You know what? I should really just have these tools in the vestibule, the airlock. That makes the most amount of sense, right? Like, why wouldn't they have the tools in there? They're 2 meters tall, so like, the average person should have no issue getting into there. That's just a giant rake, I guess. They're prone to health issues, eh? Right? Like, from what I've heard, they can oft they can often like trip on things, is what I've heard. Nice. I heard that recently. Oh shoot, we need to. I forgot. We gotta finish this. This was my top build from last year, even though it's a super simple one. Okay, hopefully no guest goes that way. There we go. We gotta fix all the signage in here and stuff, but now this is back to looking, because there's going to be you. Yeah, I can see where that would be an issue. I forget you have the red-tailed hawks in California as well. They're all the way this far east. But there's going to be goldfinch, phoebes, some other songbirds that are going to be in there. Okay, this is starting to really... So I'm going to work on this vestibule in a bit, but I'm kind of tired of it. So let's work on lighting. Because I'd really like to work on that. Always on, and we're going to change this to like a darker color. I don't know if we're going to do a skylight in here, because it's already so close to that one, but we will do like an HVAC, small little HVAC, a lighting system. Because I know that probably got the potential for respiratory issues if they're kept indoors in a humid environment. Birds aren't known for having the strongest respiratory systems. Feel like I wanted a little bit longer between... Oh, shucks, I just messed that up. Grab that green. We do this. Um, really, in zoos, I worked with Aldabra tortoise. Depends on, because like the most of the stuff that I did was talking about animals. Wasn't necessarily hands-on work. The most hands-on work I did was filling up holes that the Aldabras and radiated tortoises dug, because they shared an enclosure. And the Aldabras would make these giant pits that the zoo wanted to fill up so that they wouldn't go under the fence. As for the animals that I primarily talked about, yeah, that was something I really loved. We talked about orangutans, because we had like a suit that we would put people in, and it had like the arm span of an orangutan, and so you could compare where you stood to an orangutan. And we had the mold of a gorilla hand, even though by the time I was volunteering there, we did not have a gorilla anymore, because the enclosure was too small. Other animals, I'm trying to remember what I think we had some rattlesnake shakes. Rattlesnake shed skin. Hey Origin, welcome to the stream. We're doing name suggestions for our green heron on a YouTube poll, so if you want to hop on over to YouTube real quick and just put your vote in for that. Each vote is counting for $5,000 going towards our sandhill crane and great blue heron habitat. Or habitats, I should say. They are not going together. Sandhill cranes are going to be housed with our female white-tailed deers, leaving the wild turkeys on their own in that habitat for a little bit, while the oh boy, we get the fun bit of trying to make sure that this lines up. Yeah, we've actually got a zookeeper in the chat, so he's keeping us, giving us tidbits on how to make it look more realistic, which is always appreciated. Yeah, Un-American Cheeseburger is a zookeeper at, I won't say which zoo because he's keeping, but I have surmised it through hints that he's given me, and let's just say it's a very big zoo in the US that is often cited as one of the best zoos in the world. So I think that's something I could say. It's on my bucket list. Ooh, I've got some good dad jokes. What happens when a cow jumps over a barbed wire fence? Yeah, I've recently become a dad, so this is my job now. I didn't know that about you, Origin. That's cool. Maybe I do like it there. Yeah, we've been talking about what animals we... Oh, that's cool. Shorebirds. So, puffins or what species in particular, if you don't mind me asking, because I'm definitely going to be working, or I'm going to be designing some habitats for shorebirds in the near future. Yeah, because we are doing, they're not shorebirds necessarily, but we've got some hooded mergansers in here, which I don't think the mod actually deep dives, which is really upsetting me. And our green heron. Cool. Well, then you'll appreciate these two exhibits, hopefully. So we've got this one, which is green heron and hooded merganser. And then this is going to be the Baldwin family wetlands. And of course, they're looking at the drive-through safari. Ah, well, this is a western cattle egret, but did you do great blue herons by chance? Or sandhill cranes? So we've got western cattle egrets, um, little blue herons. Ah, little blue herons. And then we've got mallards, wood ducks. Oh, nice. Like a yellow, black crowned or a yellow crested? Or yellow crowned, I think is what they're called. But yeah, North American wood ducks. Uh, Thanks. Yeah, I really do like this one. Unfortunately, the ducks can't go up. Yellow crested. Okay, cool. That's a species I want to have in tri-state because they look super cool. And they are still native. I forgot, I technically have not put anything in here that would um, allow them to eat. Oh yeah, these are ruddy ducks. So we're gonna have ruddy ducks in here. I love them. My local zoo used to have them, but they have since gotten rid of them, which is unfortunate. I think like their swamp habitat is being redone, which is I should do something like that. That's going to require way more work than I want to do, but should also probably do a guest barrier in here. I should probably put this water bowl down here where staff could just place it. Yeah, because they're a diving duck, right? I mean, I'm half tempted to say put ruddy ducks in here, but it's probably too small for mergansers and ruddy ducks. Which kind of ticks me off that the mergansers don't dive. If they don't dive, there's no reason for us not to use a bunch of these custom tree branches that I made. Yeah, if Origin, this building is just like it's made for you because it's waterfowl, fish, outside, I'm going to have raptors. I'm going to have red-shouldered hawks. Gonna do red-shouldered hawks. Bald eagles and barred owls, because those are kind of. Oh, and eventually Mississippi kites. How often? Oh, nice. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That was primarily what I did when I volunteered at the zoo. Um, we'll need some water plants in here. Um, well, look at us being able to bond over this. Honestly, really cool. This has been a really fun stream. It's been a really fun stream so far. Oh, shoot, it's 10 o'clock. That's my end time. Let me just put some eelgrass in here. And, yeah, that's... Oh, cool. I love golden eagles. I mean, yeah. Maybe maybe the mergansers can deep dive. How would I know? Is there an indicator to tell whether they deep dive? It looks like they're based off of the flamingo rig. Darn. I was hoping they were off the... Why would the flamingos use the fruit spike tree? Okay, now I'm confused. What bird are they used based off of? I thought they would be based off the penguin ring. It doesn't. I guess I could look at the Nexus page. Which I know probably, but free build might have. Oh, Lowbrie did it. I thought Leaf did. Hooded Merganser. Oh, it's based off the Mute Swan, so it's not gonna deep dive. Ah, sad. Oh well. You know, looking at the size of it, I feel like I should have gotten a pair of green herons. Okay, but I really do have to get out of here. Let's get a picture of the habitat from... Let's get a better angle. Yeah, I mean, we are going to add those harp. Just taking a few pictures so I can share it in some discords and get some feedback, but I'll ask around in my ZSU chats to see if they would feel like anything else could be added into here. But guys, I do want to thank y'all for tuning into the live stream. Let me see if there's anyone that I can raid. Origin and Stone Soul. Okay. I think I'm gonna raid one of the pals of the channel who's playing Warhammer. Let me just see if there's anyone in the same category. Thanks for the follow, an American cheeseburger. Yeah, we'll do the person that I know. Alright, we'll raid them. They only got one person watching, right? So. I will catch y'all later. Thanks. We'll be building this again next Friday. So, very excited to continue work on it. Bye, guys. Because we were reading. I should probably